I remember one time we're in front of your grandma's house, and I pull up, and I think I needed some money to go somewhere, and it's like, man, I'm busy. And I pull up, and he's like, hey, what's up? What's going on, man? Let me holler at you real quick. Let me tell you something about Christ, man. Let me tell you about what Jesus done. And I'm still shocked about how that him gave his life to Christ, because I know him. You know what I mean? I know him from the streets.
Yeah.
And I was still like in shock. And he's coming up to my truck, let me tell you about Christ, man. Let me tell you how he changed my life and all that. And I'm telling him, I was like, today's not the day. It's like, man, you just never know. You might not get the chance. Like, today's not the day. I got 7 birds in the back of the car, and I got... Wyze Guyz.
That's here. I'm just wondering what's under that green towel.
Actually, when I was scoping over here, I don't know what it is, but on days of the podcast, Grandma always calls me, my mom always calls me and tells me, hey, mijo, I have some tacos. You want to come pick them up?
Ooh.
Yeah, but I already had cooked this already. But this is
What you got?
what we call...
Is this gonna affect my calories?
Oh, yeah. This thing weighs about 5 pounds, right? This is called a layer bowl.
Okay.
Inside the fish, this is something we always cook.
Okay.
Basically, you have tortilla at the bottom, rice and beans, and then you have sausage, beef, chicharrón, chili, cheese, and then you put another tortilla on top, and that's how you have to call it a layer bowl.
You sound very passionate about this.
Oh yeah, cause it.
So is this like a family tradition, or where you learned this recipe from?
Oh no, this is all inside the fish.
Oh, okay. So it's spread.
Yeah, it's a spread right
Okay.
here. You know, when I went to go get the stuff, man, it's like, man, this spread's expensive in there. You're talking about a $20 bowl inside there.
Ben, you ready to try it? You gotta try it, Ben. I mean,
You see, really. Let me bring a chunk out.
Man,
that's a chimichanga.
Dad, you made tamales. Tamales about 4 weeks ago, and these were tamales that you were making the feds. And so we're at the table, and there's these gigantic tamales. And we thought we were all going to share one. And you're like, no, they're for each person. And we're like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So who's going to try it first?
I'll try it, man.
Try it, bro. And then Ben's next.
Let's see what it's talking about.
Let me just use this spoon, one bite. You got a fork for Ben?
Yeah, right here.
I got to challenge Ben to
It tastes like enchiladas, like cheese enchiladas, beef enchiladas.
This is probably
What was the name of this, Dad?
Layer bowl?
Layer bowl. Burrito bowl. Man, that's really good, man.
Yeah. Man, everybody eats those things, especially on movie night. Like today is Friday night, so they usually have movies.
Yeah.
give Ben a little scoop on that fork right there.
Man.
Ben, you got to try it. You got to let us know. That's a big bite, too. That's a federal penitentiary meal right
Kind
there.
of tastes like something from La Fiesta.
Hey, that
Yeah.
thing right there,
Yeah.
you'll eat it all day long.
So how much something like that costs?
Like $20.
Bro?
And so how many people would that feed when you...
That's just for yourself.
See, you talking about you said it, yeah.
No, of course you're liable to give like a chunk like that to somebody else.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to try this? Like, yeah, somebody you know or somebody you close. Like, hey, what you got over there? Like, here you go. Bring your bowl real quick.
So was there an abundance? Like, I know as a prisoner, there'd probably be like a scarcity mindset, but that was never the case for you guys? Like, y'all would just share?
Yeah, we'll share. You know, people that you know, people that you talk to every day. You know, or just a homeboy or a brother or somebody that you kick it with, or you just want to bless them. Well, like, hey, babe, you hungry? Come and bring your bowl real quick. I'll cut your piece off like that and throw it inside your bowl.
But would it still be like people who were greedy, like that, wouldn't you want to share their food? inside prison? Would there be people like that would be greedy, like they wouldn't share their food? Because I mean, I would assume that you would. Not everybody gets to eat like this.
Oh no, not everybody's gonna eat like that. No, if you spending $20 on a bowl, you know you're doing good in there. You know what I mean? But like I said, something like that, you can literally feed 2 other people with that if you really wanted to. You know what I mean? But like I said, on movie night, you'll cook it. Usually you'll have a microwave. We used to have microwaves back in the Fed back in the days, but then they took all the microwaves away. So we would make things called stingers. And basically they're heating elements that come out of the ACs and the heaters. And we'll attach a 110 plug to it. We'll get a 5-gallon bucket or a mop bucket and put water in it, put salt in it, and throw that stinger in there and plug it into 110, and it starts to boil up.
Dang.
So you put that bowl inside a bag and drop it inside that hot water boiling, and let it cook for about an hour, and that's how you cook your food.
Man, for anybody who says that prisoners are not intelligent, they are intelligent.
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot of entrepreneurs in there, a lot of scientists, as you can see, inside prison. We just got to do a better job of getting these prisoners not to make the decisions that they're making in our education system before they go inside there. Because as you can see, that was intelligent that y'all came up with. That's wonderful, man.
Yeah, talking about the inmates in the feds, man. It's like majority of the people in there for selling drugs.
Majority.
So
Immigration too.
Immigration. There's a lot of immigration though. Don't get me wrong. Immigration. There's white collar crimes.
yeah, but there's a lot of drug dealers in there that are entrepreneurs that just sold the wrong product.
Yeah.
So imagine all them coming out and showing them a different product to sell. Be crazy.
Yeah.
Tons of entrepreneurs in there, and in the street, you know, because out here, you know, in businesses, they think you gotta, you know, create all these things before starting a business. You gotta have capital. You gotta have money in the bank. But people in the street, you start over nothing from the mud. That's an entrepreneur right there, getting no help and come up.
Yeah.
So can you imagine them coming out and being entrepreneurs?
Well, I think also too is preventing the problem from even happening in the first place.
Yeah.
Because you got to look at it from a governmental standpoint. If locking up these drug dealers, and I'm not saying that I'm not excusing their behavior of selling, but what I am saying is locking up a drug dealer, it's costing us $40,000 per inmate, if I'm correct, Dad. So imagine if we were to take that away and put that $40,000 into our public education and already start training them where we already have them at for entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking of like, how can we prevent that from even happening? Like, how can we teach that already?
Yeah.
Dad, you tell us a story, Dad, when you were loving science as a middle schooler. That was one of your favorite subjects.
Oh yeah, I love science. 5th grade, I love science.
Yeah.
Man, I love. Man, I wonder what would have happened if I would have stuck to it though. You know what I mean?
The math sciences.
Yeah, for real. To this very day, I still love it.
Yeah, that's dope, man. So just a quick recap. On EP1, we spoke about Dad's transition, right? Getting released after doing 16 years in the feds, and we touched on that famous knock where your homeboy came with $260,000 cash and how you fell into that temptation. EP2, we spoke about how you and Dad felt during that transition coming home, and it got emotional, crazy. Then EP3, I spoke on how I felt. It got emotional. But what we want to do, man, we want to talk about the real action. Everybody wants to hear how it all went down. Because now we all know that, okay, you done did 16 years in the feds. Big miracle happened. You got out. Our family's restored. But tell us how it all went down, like, you know, after that knock, you know what I'm saying? When your homeboy came and you fell into that temptation, what happened after that?
Oh man, you trying to go there?
We trying to go there. We want to just be raw, authentic, how it all went down, man.
Well, it's I sigh on it because when I go back and look at it, in the 90s I did some stuff, but when I made that decision, I wasn't a believer. I didn't know Christ. I didn't, Yeah, I went to church when it was suitable for me, or maybe to make the family happy, so forth, or even just to try to show y'all who God was. I was very religious, but I didn't have a relationship with God. So uh, I ended up calling my cousin, and I said, today's the day. Make that call. He made that call, and 2 weeks later, he set an appointment down in Mexico, and then we got in his truck, and we drove all the way to Mexico. We drove all the way to Mexico. We got a hotel on the Texas side, and then we crossed over to the other side, and they had a hotel over there that we met up at. And when the two guys came in, I looked at them, they looked at me, and it's like we shook hands and we introduced each other. And he said, "What do you know about this?" It's like, I know what it is. And we're talking about cocaine. And he showed me some little bit of product, a small little batch of it. It's like, this is what we got here, you know what I mean? And he started telling me, "Hey, I'm also starting to work, man, but you came at the right time." I said, "If you come and work with me and let's work together, we can make some profit." And on the way over there, my gut feeling just kept on telling me to turn around. I didn't even know God like that.
Yeah.
And something just told me to turn around. You're about to do a lot of destroying.
Yeah.
Not just on my own self, but everybody around me. But I kept on going, and I kept on going. And finally, I ended up talking to the guy, and we talked. And one thing he told me is like, "Look, just give me some time, and we'll end up speaking again. But today, I want you to get a feel of Mexico. This is our little town, and my brother's gonna take you out to eat. I gotta go meet with some people real quick, but enjoy life.
Y'all were on a border town?
Yeah, we're in a border
okay.
town. We're in a border town.
Okay.
So enjoy life.
Okay.
Enjoy life. So enjoy our Mexico. I said, okay, then that's fine. So his younger brother came in. It's like, "Hey, I'm gonna take you out to eat, and let's just have some fun. You know what I mean? Let's forget about talking when we talk."
Okay.
So he took us out to eat and went to this Rancho Steakhouse. They brought all kinds of food, and we're we're in a little beat up Nissan car. Beat up.
Oh, so y'all not driving in the Range Rover?
Oh no. Take it that these guys are barely starting themselves too as well, so they're not up there yet. You know what I mean? They're we're looking for them and they're looking for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he had a beat up Nissan car, and like, "Hey, let's go." It's like, all right. So we got in his car and we went out to eat, and before and all, we started drinking and so forth, and we ended up going to some bars. And how on Tony Montana, how he goes into the club, and I forgot his name, the one that speaks to his jefe. He starts to tell him, "Look, that guy does this, and that guy does this, and that guy does this."
Yeah.
Basically, exactly that's how it happened.
Oh, okay.
He said he was not introducing, but just showing me who everybody was in there.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Like that. So like, okay.
Yeah.
And then we went from one place to another place and went to another place. And even through all that time, I never felt that way. I was like, turn around. Let's go the other way.
Dang.
It's just like,
Yeah.
I never felt that way. I didn't feel like that in the 90s when I was doing that. I was like, didn't have no conscience behind it.
Yeah.
At the end, it just, over the night, I just overlooked it.
Yeah.
And then, I want to say it was around 1:30 in the morning. And he said, "Hey, let's go to this other place." So we going through these little barrios.
And y'all bar hopping or what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going through these little barrios. And all of a sudden, I don't know how, but we passed through this street, this dark street, and some cops got behind us.
Cops? Oh,
Cops
okay.
got behind us, and they followed us, and they pulled us over. And it's like, who da? I'm like, I'm from Texas. I'm from Waco. Yes, I go to Mexico. Yes, we go to my dad's ranch in Fresnillo, Zacatecas. Shout out to all my gente in Fresnillo, Zacatecas. My mom's side, Rio Verde, San Luis Potosí. So we, growing up as a kid, we went to, but the border town's a whole different story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we get pulled over, and it's like, don't say nothing. I'll take care of this, okay? So, all right. So he started talking to them. He's like, "Hey, y'all get out too." And it's like, oh, heck. Said, "Where y'all from?" She's like, "From Waco." son americanos, son de Texas.
Son de Texas.
So I had to show my identification, all that. It's like, all right, see my identification. And then the guy's like, so what y'all doing out here? It's like, we're just drinking. You know, we're just having a good time. You know, everybody does it. Everybody comes to the border towns and drinks and have a good time. It's like, oh, yeah? You got any drugs on you? It's like, no. Take it that, you know, we've been, you know, doing some drugs.
Y'all been doing some lines and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. And, you know, I'm like, no, we don't have none, which we already ran out of it. And it's like, yeah, I think you have. And he's just like, Capitan.
Capitan.
So he calls him over there. He's like, I think these guys are on something. He's like, I look at him like, no. And then he puts the flashlight on my face, puts the flashlight on my other friend. He's like, hey, man, the other guy said, what is it going to take for you to let us go? It's like, oh, so now you're hiding something. Let me see, Ro. Come here close to me. This dude comes up and just, put your head up. Put your head up. He puts his head up. This dude stuck his finger in his nose and does this. Oh, te gusta el perico. This dude really tasted the snot of this dude's nose and knew that he was doing drugs.
That's crazy.
Man, I was like, I've never seen nothing like that before. I'm
just
like,
raw.
I looked at that guy like, I told my cousin, did he just do what I think he just did?
Yeah.
And sure enough, he tasted this dude's snot. I said, oh, yeah. Take this car apart. It's like, man, what is it going to take? I said, I need $500 right now. Right now. The guy's like, man, I got $350 on me. That's the $350.
Yeah.
Give me that. He let us go. Man, I was like, man, they finna take us in. I done heard all the stories about us, especially as Americans being down there and the prison down there is like, man, we finna get shanked, stabbed. It's whatever. Okay, that's fine. So they let us go. So we take off. We take about a mile up, and then we're gonna go back to his brother's house, apartment, and all of a sudden we end up passing another barrio and we get a flat tire. Boom!
That was about 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's already about 2 o'clock in the morning. We get a flat tire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man. I said, where are we at to begin with? I don't know where we're at.
Yeah.
So we get a flat tire, and I said, you got a spare? It's like, no, I had a flat last week, so the other one's dead too.
Oh.
It's flat, and it's like, so we got to walk. I said, how far is your brother's house? It's like, man, we're looking about a mile. It's like, I said, all right, let's go. We're walking. So we're walking. It's like, oh, he knows everybody around here. Telling my cousin, whatever happens, you know this town better than I do, so you better not take off from me. So we're walking, and then all of a sudden I hear some guy whistling from the other side of the other apartment complex. It's like, I'm looking around like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
And then the younger brother, the guy said, this is not our barrio.
God.
I'm like, so why are you bringing us through here? I told him, ¿por qué no trae por aquí?
Yeah.
He's like, está bien. All of a sudden, you see heads popping up from different areas of the apartment complexes coming out. He says, you looking around, and then one says, ¿Dónde eres? ¿Dónde son? Where y'all from? The guy says, run.
God.
Oh, man. We're running. I'm like, running. And he's making a phone call. It's like, hey, nos están correteando. I forgot what side of the barrio gango that was or whatever. And like, I'm running out telling my cousin, he's a little bitty old dude, man. I said, boy, don't you leave me. Don't you leave me. I'm chasing behind him. We're going through all kinds of apartment complexes, fences. Man, we're going through bushes, a creek. I'm like, oh, man. And finally, man, I don't know how far we ran. Finally, he's calling his brother up. It's like, hey, I'm over here. And we turn that corner. Man, we see like 4 guys waiting for us at the corner. It's like, hey, we're over here. He's flashing the light. And we take off. And now these dudes got guns. And it's like, now I feel a little bit safer and all that. But, man, it's like, my eyes flashed before my life flashed before my eyes. Like, man, we're finna get killed out here. Damn. I'm at the wrong place. I'm out of pocket. I shouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
Okay? So they started coming towards us. It's like, y'all right. They're just, that street from that side is a whole different barrio from this side over here. It's like, and you want to cross through there on your car. It's like, yeah, well, I didn't think we're going to get a flat tire in their area. So that same night, that's what all happened. Then we went to his apartment. We started talking more, and I started thinking about it. It's like, man, we got to go through all this to get a connection here. What the heck?
Yeah.
They're just saying, it's okay. This is normal. He's telling me in Spanish. Es normal esto acá. No te preocupes. I'm like, all right. And we started talking some more, and before you know, it's like, look, give me about a month, and then I'll see what I can do. I said, a month? I'm thinking we're gonna have to come out and come on. Let's go. Let's do something. Let's start making transactions. It's like, nah, that mean mess. That's like, so he showed me some other product. I said, okay, let me tell you something. Right here, this stuff right here is no good. That stuff right there is good. That's what the clients want. That's what the people want. Okay. And before you know it, 2 weeks passed by, and I kept on calling the dude. It's like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And finally answered him, was like, just give me some time, man. I can't help you right now. But I can go ahead and turn you on to somebody else in the meantime until I get on top or I get talking to my people again. So he sends me to somebody else. So here we go back all the way down there, but this time we go to San Antonio. So we end up meeting somebody in San Antonio. He's calling me back and forth. He's like, you got the money? I was like, and telling me Spanish. Then the other like, no, I don't got no money. Because I ain't finna grab the money. I don't even know these dudes, but these people don't know me. Only through recommendation. Oh, yeah, let me call so-and-so. And I thought he was going to have the money. He's like, no. So it was a big dilemma. We're at a Phoenix store for about 3 hours, waiting and waiting. So they want to try me out, I guess, of who I am. So I pull up. He said, come to the other store, to Conoco. So I pull up at, I think it's a Conoco, if I'm not mistaken, or 7-Eleven. Anyways, I pull up, me and my cousin, and 5 vehicles just pull up in San Antonio. I'm like, what the heck is this? They pull up, and they all get out. This is at a corner store. And I get up, it's like, you come here. All right, go on. Where's the money at? I said, oh, here we go again. Man, I don't got no money.
Yeah.
So where's the dope at? He's like, let me just make a phone call. Well, I'm gonna make a phone call too. And we start arguing about, you supposed to bring the money, And long story short, they end up giving me one so I can try it out. And I came back with it.
They gave you 1 kilo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Came back with it and came back, tried it out, see if it was worth our time and effort, to actually make business with them. And at the end of the day, it was whack. It was all cut up. It was all cut up. I called my guy up. I said, man, why are you connecting me with these dudes, man? They don't know what the heck they doing. And it was no good. And I had to send it all the way back. We went all the way back to San Antonio with it, and we had to send it back. No, I take that back. We ended up meeting in Austin. I said, I ain't gonna go all the way to San Antonio. You try to get me for it. So I gave it back to them. He said, don't worry about it. We got an argument, man. They were trying to try you out. They shouldn't have tried you out like that. I told them that you were good. And it's like, all right, whatever, man. Never called that guy again. About 2 weeks later after that, the guy called me, okay, we're on. Let's go. And that's how it all started. After that day, 2 weeks later, so it's about a month period after I went down to Mexico, that's when it started happening. They started coming through.
That's went through all that trouble, and then what's crazy though is that you had that voice, and it was like God's voice. Even though you didn't know God or had a relationship with him, it was like God was still trying to warn you to not go that route. And it was just like you went through that little small test,
everything you could think of, all the doors were closed for me, yet I was adamant to go through that door.
So God was trying to close this door, but you just kept on pushing, wanting that.
Pushing those doors open, because if you see this, all these doors that I was trying to go through is like this occurrence and this occurrence would happen, this occurrence would happen, this occurrence would happen. I had to go through so many occurrences that, man, when is enough enough? When is enough when you're gonna say, hey, man, this is not gonna be good.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be good.
That's crazy.
But I kept on being persistent on it.
Because you got that $260K on your mind.
That is correct. Chasing the wind.
Chasing the wind.
Chasing the wind.
One choice. It's like you had that temptation of wanting that $260K. Then you go to Mexico, and it's like these doors, they were trying to be closed, but you were kicking those doors down yourself so you can, you made that choice to go down there to chase that life,
Yeah.
that money, that temptation, crazy. And I think what's crazy is that one small little choice led to all these generational curses after that. Generational curse. We've been talking about these past 2 episodes on all the stuff. We kind of did a overview of the stuff we went through growing up while Dad was in prison. Like all this poverty and emotional trauma and damage we went through as a family, all behind that one day when your homeboy showed up to the door, and then you going to Mexico. It was like God was like basically stop you, but you kicking down that door, it opened the door to generational curses. It sounded good then, but like
Honestly, I could actually say God was honoring my movement to get out of the game because I had stopped. I said, you know what? I was already in the 90s living a crazy life already to begin with. You know what I mean? Yes, I wasn't like that. Not like that to the point where I was what I was doing in the 2000s, but in the 90s was already crazy. And I was like, man, you know what? I need to chill. So y'all growing up, I need to man up. You know, I'm still thinking I'm young and going out to the clubs and bars and still drinking and, you know, doing everything else that this world approves of, and our culture approves too as well, as far as just bar hopping and, you know, being with women and all kinds of other stuff. And then I sit there and said, you know what? I need to change. I need to provide a better life. I already moved out here to this house. I already, you know, y'all going to a good school. Yet behind that, I wasn't content. And I kept on going the other route. So behind those generational curses, like, man, why didn't I open my eyes and sit there and say, like, what is going to be the effect behind this? I didn't look at the consequences. I looked at it as today. I'm living today.
as an opportunity.
I'm not living tomorrow. I'm not living next year. I'm not living 4 years from now. I'm not living 10 years from now. You know, you always hear like, man, what's your plans for the next 5 years? I didn't think the next 5 years, I'm going to be in the pen.
Yeah.
You know, think that way.
Yeah.
You're thinking about you're never going to get caught. You think you have a system that is going to outdo the federal government, the DEA, and everybody else. You know, people were trying to jack you and all kinds of other people. You think that you are superior to everybody else. But in the spiritual realm, God sees everything. Nothing is hidden. Now, Satan might paint a pretty picture for you at the moment, and he'll glorify you and put you on a pedestal. Soon, that pedestal is going to be knocked down, and you will fall, regardless. Regardless, man.
Yeah.
You reap what you... Remember, Adrian, every time we would talk on the phone, I said, well, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow.
Yeah.
And, man, but behind that, all these the curses started to fall after I opened these doors.
Yeah.
Because now my family is infected, you know, friendship, people out there in the community. All these people are being affected by the decision that I make. Because now it's not just about me and my little family. No, it's affecting all our community now.
Yeah.
And everywhere else.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's really good. And we keep talking about what's going on inside of us and these generational curses. I'm a writer, and so when I was writing this past week, I was really discovering what this generational curse means. Like, it was a broad term. So, like, my question is, like, can you take us more on to, like, what does that generational curse mean? Like, what is that?
Generational curse is like what you did before, and it affects the people who are behind you, or even in front of you. For an example, me, I'm gonna put myself. I don't even put my dad or my grandpa. We did that last time. But for myself, I planted, or I showed y'all a different life of what it is to be in the drug game. Okay, I didn't speak to you on it. but I know that y'all can see that though.
Mm-hmm.
For example, because of my actions,
Mm-hmm.
you're behind me. You started following me.
Yeah.
Okay, my brothers, they were started following me as well, and then loved ones and family members and friends as well. People that were just doing fine, they started following, doing what I was doing, and before you know it, they fall into the same trap.
Yeah.
Now I done planted all this discord in people's lives. That now that I've changed, or God has changed my life, people still was living in that discord.
Yeah.
People were still living in those times.
And to this day, people are still affected. And we were just talking about the other day. To this day, families have been. I mean, we just want to be real. We have friends and family that are basically destroyed
Mm-hmm.
because of, and they blame you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to remember about, I don't know if we want to go there. We may have to edit this, Ben. I don't know. But remember when you showed up to that party?
What part?
The party, and they called you out in front of everybody at the party? When they called you a nautical?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. We're at a certain party, at a family member's party, and my cousin had invited me to this party. And
And this was years ago?
This was years
This is
ago.
like 2000, early 2000s.
Yeah, 2000. Went to a family party. They had a carne asada, and we all showed up, and we're there, and everybody shaking my hand, family members and friends and all that. And I told my cousin after 2.5 hours, 3 hours, hey man, finna go. It's on a Sunday. Finna go to the house, chill. And my cousin, you want to play, man? You want to play? It's like, yeah, give me a plate. I'll take one for one, man. You know, carne asada. Who's gonna pass with carne asada?
Yeah.
So I ended up grabbing the plate, and no, he's fixing the plate, and he told his mother, hey, fix the plate. He's like, for who? I said, for a primo, you know what I mean? Fix primo plate. He's like, why you always kissing his butt? Why you even invite him to begin with? I'm like, and I'm hearing this, I'm like, all right, let's go. Get the kid, let's go.
Yeah.
He said, why you always kissing? Why y'all always all upon him like that? He ain't nobody. He's nobody. So it's like they started getting louder and louder.
And there's a lot of people there.
There's a lot of people there. Man, I'm sick and tired of this freaking. She yelled out narco. I'm sick and tired of that narco, man. I'm sick and tired of him. He's all he does is sell cocaine, and he's no good. And you know, it's like, dang, everybody just looking around.
Yeah.
It's like, that's an embarrassment. You know,
Yeah.
I was embarrassed. Like, dang. I said, let's get out. And she came out yelling and yelling and yelling louder and louder. My cousin's dad had to come up and just, hey, chill. Chill, shut up, be quiet. Why are you speaking like that? I'm sick and tired of him. And, you know, it's because of them, because of him that they're this way and they're that way. And it's like, man, it was a sad situation.
Yeah. And it's like they were hurt because they seen the destruction going into their family, you know, and then even while you were locked up, I had to go sit down with the cousin because he was young. He was a teenager, and I heard through the vine that he was blaming you the way his dad was strung out. And it was like, man, so I'm just seeing all these wildfires, all these curses and this dysfunction going on. And it's like, it affected us, but how many other families affected? All around Waco, right? Because, you know, I heard from other people, and then, you know, you were considered the biggest at that time in Waco. Would you say that?
Well, I didn't really talk to any other, so, yeah.
Yeah. So can you imagine all that spread out through all the families, and we don't know what happened, you know, and so much destruction went on. And then I know you know, other stuff went to different cities or whatever, but going back to those curses, man.
Yeah, and I want to go back to what I was talking about when I was writing, when I talked about, okay, this generational curse. It seems like from what I'm hearing from you, Dad, is that the generational curse that you have started with your heart, and you we call it the acts of the flesh in the book of Galatians. And acts of the flesh, as I was writing, had to come from your heart. It's your heart. The Bible says to guard your heart above all else. Everything you do from it flows from it. So what flew from you, Dad, it seemed like was greed or selfish ambition. And the Bible says that is demonic and it's worldly. And so, and I know we're talking about people blaming Dad, but I don't even think, remember, Adam blamed Eve. And every time we sin, every time there's something going on in our heart, the first thing we want to do is we want to blame somebody else.
Yeah.
But generational curses starts in your heart.
Yeah.
What is it? Because everything you do in life flows from it.
Yeah.
Everything you do from it.
Yeah.
And so I like what Pastor Andy Stanley says. He says that a home environment or a person's life mirrors the home environment. And that home environment, still to this day, whatever is on our heart, whatever is still rotted in our heart, it's still going to our kids. That's why the scripture tells us to get rid of it. Get rid of all these fleshly things in our heart because our kids are looking at it. Still to this day, God is still not done changing us. God is still changing us.
Yeah.
He's still renewing our hearts.
Yeah.
Why? Because our kids are looking at it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Our kids are looking at it. And so, like, we talk about these generational curses. I mean, we still have to break them to this day. It's still something that we're pursuing. And we talk about the Bible tells us to pursue holiness.
Yeah.
Pursue this holiness because we have so many people looking up to
Yeah. Making those right decisions, man.
making those right decisions.
Those right choices it's a daily lifestyle because
lifestyle.
you know, I can go and make a crazy decision tomorrow and that can affect my whole family. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, I know we're talking about, you know, you showed us the dope game, but also you showed us what a husband looked like. I seen how you and Mom, you know, used to fight. You know, 2 a.m, it sounded like a boxing ring up in your room. Glass breaking. So it wasn't just a drug game. It was like how to be a father.
Yeah.
I thought that's how relationships.
That you're supposed to treat a woman.
How you treat a woman. So me and my wife, Christelina, when we first got together, we were teenagers. We were, you know, 16, 17, and it was crazy. We would fight like adults, but I thought it was normal.
You carry my baggage now.
I'm carrying this baggage, and I'm thinking it's okay. But that was like a generational thing. You know what I mean? And
But I want to go back to, I don't, you know, we can edit if we need to, Ben, but Dad only did that because he saw what he did. That is.
no, we ain't got to edit that. We ain't got to edit that. Yeah.
But you saw that from your own home.
That's
which
correct.
you raised from.
That's correct.
And so I believe there's a lot of men out there who truly desire to be men, but they're wondering, where can I get this from?
Yeah.
All I know is all I know. All I
Yeah.
see is all I see.
Yeah.
So how do I be this man?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you
Yeah.
just wanted to be a provider for us.
Yeah.
You wanted to take us out and be a part of the American dream. That
Yeah.
was your desire, and I still see that. I saw that. And, you know, I had to learn that. That was what Dad really wanted.
Yeah.
But there was a question I believe you were screaming for, Dad, is how do I be a dad?
Yeah.
How do I be a man?
Yeah, you gotta remember,
Yeah.
I had him at 16,
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. 15.
And then after that, 17, you came around. And I had to literally raise myself to be a man
Yeah.
because I had to quit school in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to experience my teenage years.
Yeah.
I became a man very quickly. So I didn't know how to be a man. You know,
Yeah.
only what I seen when my dad and my mom were living together. And that was all the way to about when I was 8 years old. And behind that, it was nothing but dysfunction.
Yeah.
And I thought that was normal. You know, even through me trying to be a little bit different, yet that generational curse of what I seen and what I went through lingered over my life. And then I accepted it and I adapted to it. My dad used to drink a lot. I drank a lot.
Yeah.
He used to bar hop a lot. I used to bar hop.
Yeah.
And it goes on and on and on and on. He used to be a womanizer. I became a womanizer. And that goes even to my grandpa. In Mexico, they used to call him Sergio el Bailador. Anybody who knows the old music of Mexicano, Sergio Bailador is a guy who says, this is the guy who's dancing with, he loves to dance. My grandpa loved to dance with a lot of women. And if he had the chance, I know he'll, I love my grandpa, but there's a seed that goes from there, you know what I mean? And that's the generational curses. And we still make fun about it as far as, man, my grandpa was this and that, but in reality, he didn't know that what he planted a long time ago was a ripple effect of what's happening to this very day.
Yeah.
And that was a generational curse that had to be broken.
Yeah.
I wanted to give some hope. I was really at my time this week of learning. God rescues those people, though. He says that he is a father to the fatherless. And God rescues, he rescued me when I was having those, how do I become a man to my wife, to my fiance? How do I become a man to my kids? When you look at, there's a book in the Bible called the Book of Proverbs, 31 chapters, and it's simple, it's relatable, but it's God speaking to a son. And so I learned how to be a man and a father through the Book of Proverbs. It's like, man, there's this wisdom that I'm learning through scripture, and it's applicable. It's not just something I'm just taking it as information. I'm actually applying this so that I can apply it at home. And so I just want to give everyone out there that there is hope. God is on the rescue for you, and it's in His word. Look at the Book of Proverbs. You could read one a day with your family.
Yeah.
But that's how we could be able to learn to be a
Yeah.
man.
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, man.
And even back then, now we look at it, man, there's help now. You know what I mean? There's people that you can actually count and say, hey, man, I want to link up with you, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want to learn. You know what? When people might have a problem, man, they finna go over there and tell them my problem. It's like, man, you'd be surprised, man, how God can reconcile your life all over again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
show you.
Yeah, the biggest thing is like the local church, man, is in every city, every community, and there's people there that you can plug into, and that was the biggest life changer for me, like plugging in with mentors who I can learn from.
Yeah.
To show me visually of, how to act this way, you know what I mean? Because it's not automatic.
Yeah.
It's not automatic.
Before I got locked up, Pastor G, Gabriel Dominguez, shout out to Pastor G. Man, me and him, we go back since we were our childhood. Man, we were kindergarten, 6th grade. Of course, that's your mother's cousin and so forth. So we're always neck to neck with, in life itself, basically. We did everything together, you know what I mean? He had his thing going, I had my thing going. He went to the feds, he came out, he changed his life, he gave his life to Christ. And, man, we got close, and he always tried to bring the word to me, man. And I would always, blow him off. I remember one time we're in front of your grandma's house, and I pull up, and I think I needed some money to go somewhere. And it's like, man, I'm busy. And I pull up, and he's like, hey, what's up? What's going on, man? Let me holler at you real quick. Let me tell you something about Christ, man. Let me tell you about what Jesus done. And I'm still shocked about how that him gave his life to Christ, because I know him. You know what I mean? I know him from the streets.
Yeah.
And I was still in shock. And he's coming up to my truck, let me tell you about Christ, man. Let me tell you how he changed my life and all that. And I'm telling him, I was like, today's not the day. It's like, man, you just never know. You might not get the chance. Like, today's not the day. I got 7 birds in the back of the car, and I gotta go.
7 birds in the
I got 7 keys in the back of the car. I gotta go. It's like, he's like, okay, I'm gonna holler at you later. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
so I'm just saying this because we were close. So when I got locked up, before I got locked up, he prayed for me, and I gave my life to Christ, and I told him.
So real quick, I'm gonna pause you. When you gave your life to Christ before prison.
That's correct.
So you didn't go into prison, because we've been hearing that you were this, big man of faith in prison. We're gonna go all into those crazy prison stories, right? But you gave your life to Christ before you went to prison?
Yes.
Okay, so did you get raided and go straight to prison, or tell us that exact story?
One day I was at the club, and man, everything was going, everything was popping. There was all kinds of people at the club, man, and all my crew was there. Everybody was there. Everybody's having shots and drinking, and you know, all the women on was, hey, what's up? And you know, it gets crazy at the club. You know what I mean? It gets crazy, and man, that day I was just like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I told all my friends, hey, man, I'm gone. It's like, man, it's barely 11:30, 12 o'clock. It's like, no, not today's not the day. Got in my F-250, brand new truck. Still smell of the leather inside, and got in my truck and I took off home. And I'm driving, and I got like 4 phones right here, and just on my console. And phones are going off. Driving, looking at my diamonds, and man, I got a big old pocket full of money. Everywhere I went on the weekend, $5,000-$10,000 I'm taking just as a splurge. And you know, I like to party. Got a big old knot of soda on my left pocket, and man, I get to the house.
We'll set it. We'll stop right there. I think that was pretty dope. We're gonna leave that for the next episode. It's finna get deep. It's finna get crazy, and we'll leave the craziness for the next episode. Is it good? No, I'm talking about that. Did you like it, Ben?
Yeah, it was good.
Dope. We're gonna cut it right there. Good.
Good.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.